doubt Maurice always there. That was my first time having a dick in my mouth and a dick in my coochie.
Kinky enough is brother to brother, Martell. You don't think?
I didn't know that he had a wife. He threatened me. He said, if you tell a wife, I'm gonna come ask you. He was trying to trip you up.
No, Martell asked him and Marco sent it.
But but no. Somebody else sent me the money in situation every single time, or it was forwarded. It was never direct. So
okay, because he didn't want no paper trail for his wife Tisha to go back and be able to look and see. Because I remember Okay.
He used to that. He used to it.
So okay, what made you wanting to continue to deal with him?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Let's talk about the train wreck of an interview we just saw with Martell and his mistress, because this was a disaster, and we have so much to unpack. Now, we all knew this wasn't going to be an easy watch, but I don't think anyone was prepared for how bad this actually turned out. I was expecting some kind of expose, maybe some shocking details, but what we got instead was a whole lot of confusion, interruptions, and unanswered questions. Let's dive in. Right from the start, it felt like the whole thing was going off the rails. The interview was supposed to clear the air, to answer all of the questions we've been dying to know. But instead of revealing any juicy details about Martell's relationship with his so-called mistress, it felt more like a disaster than a real interview. If you've seen the trailer, you probably thought you were about to get the tea. But honestly, the most interesting part of the whole thing might have been the trailer itself. The real interview? It was a mess. One of the main reasons it didn't hit the mark was because it just felt so fake. It was clear that the mistress was being led to say certain things. She kept getting details wrong. She was tripping over her words. And honestly, I'm not even sure she remembered the names of the people she was supposed to be talking about. How do you get the names wrong when you're allegedly in a relationship with someone? If you're going to spill the beans, at least get the basics straight, right? This was just a train wreck from the start. But hold up, it gets worse. Instead of an interview, what we got was a showdown between the mistress and another side chick. The alleged mistress didn't even get the chance to speak her piece because the other side chick kept interrupting. Imagine trying to tell your story, but someone keeps cutting you off, trying to catch you in a lie. That's exactly what happened. It was like they were trying to turn this into a drama-filled spectacle rather than an interview. But here's the kicker: this whole thing was supposed to be about the mistress, not about everyone else trying to get their moment in the spotlight. And let's talk about Martell for a second. Every time he opened his mouth, it was like he was just trying to cover his tracks and deflect. He couldn't go 5 minutes without bringing up his ex-wife, Mel. And I get it, he's been divorced for years, but why does he still keep bringing her up? It's almost like he can't fully let go of the past. But here's the thing, if you're still caught up on your ex-wife while sitting next to your mistress, you've got bigger issues. It was like Martell was just trying to justify his actions without really owning up to anything. Let's talk about the real elephant in the room: the mistress herself. She kept saying how she was trying to find out the truth about Martell's actions, but if you ask me, she seemed a little too insecure for someone who's been in this situation for so long. She was asking questions like she was trying to catch him in a lie. But here's the thing, she already knew who Martell was. She knew from the jump that he was married, and yet she still got involved. Now, she's acting like she's shocked by the whole situation. Girl, please. This was not a look of someone who was strong and empowered. It was more of someone who's clearly still trying to prove something to herself. And the most outrageous part. At the very end of the interview, she tried to create a safe space for other women in her situation. But let's be honest, how can this be a safe space when the woman sitting next to Martell couldn't even get her story straight? She's making the entire interview about herself, her feelings, and her insecurities instead of focusing on the real story. How does that make sense? It doesn't. Now, there were some shocking moments, don't get me wrong. At one point, the mistress was talking about the Scott brothers allegedly being involved in some kind of shady activities at Credit One. She was trying to make it sound like Credit One was a secret hangout for the side chicks in the drama, but let's be real here, it all seemed like a huge distraction. The focus should have been on Martell and his mess, but instead, it turned into this back and forth between the side chicks. And here's the real kicker: Martell's ex-wife, Mel, is clearly still the woman he's in love with. Despite all of the drama with the mistresses, the fact is, Martell's heart is still tied to Mel. If you watch this and still think that the mistress has a chance with him, I've got news for you: this whole thing was a flop. Martell will never leave Mel, and no matter how many side chicks show up, he'll always have her in his heart. So, What can we take away from all of this? First, it's clear that Martell is still stuck in his messy ways. Second, the interview was a total flop. And honestly, it was more about Martell's side chicks fighting for attention than anything else. The whole thing was just chaotic and unnecessary. If you're expecting some life-changing revelations, don't hold your breath. I want to hear from you. Did you watch the interview? What did you think? Was it as messy as I'm saying, or did you get some real tea from it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest drama. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.